this video, we're going to consider the use case where we will attach documents to records in the ServiceNow instance using the Yansa File Grabber utility. In this use case, we are going to have some vendor contract records. And these contract records have an ID associated to them, as well as a configuration item and a vendor name. Now let's just assume that we have PDF copies of these documents in another repository that we want to bring over into the instance and associate it to each record. So if I have a contract established in the instance, I want to attach that document, a PDF of that document, here on the vendor contract. So in order to do this, we will go into our File Grabber application and we will create a new profile. We will call this Gather Contract PDFs. We will select our mid server, and for now we will just run this on demand. We're going to assume that the files reside on the mid server. Okay, and we're going to pull these from the mid server, not an FTP server in this case. We'll skip that one. We're choosing to attach files to records. All of our files, what we want to do is the naming convention for these files, if we were to go to it, as you can see, the naming convention will be an ID followed by .pdf. And let's just say for this case, the file name matches the ID on the records. And so we'll use a regular expression. We want to capture everything except for the .pdf, but we want to include .pdf here so that we can only search for PDF files. Everything inside of the parentheses will be matched against, and what we'll do is we will store those in our vendor contract table. We will take whatever the match is of the regular expression, and we will try to match that to the vendor ID field on the record. And we know these are going to be PDF files, so we'll just go ahead and select our file type here. We don't want to create new records if we cannot find one in the table already that matches the file name, so we'll leave that unchecked. And we're going to get all files, so we'll leave that unchecked as well. These are PDFs, so we're not going to store the contents of those PDFs anywhere. We're simply just attaching files to the records. We'll go ahead and let's save this. Now let's go ahead and execute this profile. Once that profile is executed, we can come back to our vendor contracts. Here's our contracts, and let's just go into one of those contracts now. As you can see, we took the file that had this string and matched it up with the record that had this string in the vendor ID field. Then we attached the PDF right onto that record. So if we click onto that PDF and were to save this, you'll see our SAP vendor contract right there.